Hello, I'm Rob Higurita, and I'm Enterprise Support Lead at AWS, and I'm based out of Austin, Texas. Welcome to AWS Supports You, where we share best practices and troubleshooting tips from AWS Support. Joining me today is Mridula Grandi from AWS Support. Can you give us a quick introduction, Mridula?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today's session. I'm Mridula Grandi, Principal Technical Account Manager based out of Atlanta, part of AWS Enterprise Support.
Thanks for the introduction, Mridula. So today we'll be introducing you to the AWS Health Alerts solution. We'll specifically focus on how the solution can give you awareness into your AWS accounts by customizing your AWS Health Alerts for organizational and personal accounts. Before we get into the details today, though, a quick note to the attendees online. Please feel free to use the chat window on the right-hand side of your screen to share your thoughts and ask your questions throughout today's episode. We really look forward to hearing from you and interacting today. Mridula, can you walk us through what we're going to be talking about?
Absolutely. Thank you, Rob. Today, I will talk about AWS Health and its current offerings. We will get into the solution that we built, AWS Health Aware, also known as AHA. We'll talk about AHA's features and functionalities and how you can use AHA into your existing incident response plans. I will then dive deep into its technical architecture, talk about how the pricing and support model works. Next, I will do a demo of how to configure and deploy AHA, and then we'll take a look at sample incident alerts. Before we move on, Rob, are there any questions that I can take?
None so far. Remember, audience, please feel free to post your questions there, but I'll let you continue on, Mridula.
All right. For our main topic today, I would like to start off with a pre-context of how AWS regions work, as this will inform your overall strategy for workloads running on AWS. AWS has the largest global infrastructure footprint than any provider, and this footprint is constantly increasing at a significant rate. And AWS has the concept of a region, which is a physical location around the world where we cluster data centers. And these data centers gives you the ability basically to cluster and form something called an availability zone. Availability zones give you the ability to operate production applications and databases that are highly available, secure, fault-tolerant, and scalable than that would be possible if you were running your workloads from a single data center. Each AWS region consists of multiple isolated and physically separate availability zones within a geographic area. The AWS cloud spans 81 availability zones within 25 geographic regions around the world, with announced plan for 21 more availability zones and 7 more regions in countries such as Australia, India, Indonesia, Israel, Spain, Switzerland, and UAE as of year to date. As our CTO, Werner Vogels, puts it, everything fails all the time is an insistent reminder that has been hugely influential to the developers of highly scalable and available systems. Now, and when we talk about failures and their root causes, the failures could arise from events broadly categorized as natural disasters, such as earthquakes or floods, technical failures, such as power failure or network connectivity, a human action, such as inadvertent misconfiguration or unauthorized third-party access or modification. Now, when you look at this screen, you may start wondering about why I'm talking about failures. My main objective of this is to remind that chances of failures are inevitable, whether it is at the highest quality hardware or lowest cost components. But when these failures occur in the cloud, you should be protected against most of these type of failures. Regardless of the cloud provider, there is a potential for failures to impact your workload. Therefore, you must take steps to implement resiliency and proper incident response plan for your mission-critical workloads that need to be meeting the business objectives of running applications 24/7. So when these events occur, having a consistent incident response plan is crucial regardless of an organization's cloud maturity level or industry vertical. To have an effective incident response strategy, it is important to ensure that people, processes, and technology are aligned and prepared to mitigate the risks in a timely manner. And for applications running on the cloud, alerting is an important aspect that gives timely awareness to problems that could occur and impact your cloud resources so you can mitigate the problems quickly. Many enterprises strive into building applications and use cloud infrastructure that is highly available, secure, and reliable. However, when events occur, we hear this frequently from you that it is important for the businesses to quickly determine whether the issue is caused by an event on the cloud or your own application code. Now, this is an important question to answer early in your incident remediation processes because it requires very different remediation actions based upon the root causes. Now, before we get started, I want you to think for a second about how your existing incident alerting processes look like in your organizations when there is an AWS infrastructure event. Because today's session is going to uncover some of the solutioning that we developed specifically for this purpose. Now, before we move on to the main topic, Rob, are there any questions that I can answer?
Hey, Rodila. Currently, we don't have any questions from the audience, so I'll let you continue on through your presentation, but thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Now, we strive for high availability, and AWS has a 99.9% uptime for most of the services. However, in the event that incidents do occur, you should be prepared to respond. AWS Health is the signal that we send you to inform that the issue you're seeing is actually an AWS event. Now, let's take a look at the dashboards that are currently available within AWS Health. The first you see is the Service Health dashboard, which shows public events. These are reported AWS service issues that provide information about service availability. The Service Health dashboard, also known as SHD, only shows public events, which are not specific to any account. The status is publicly available and does not require you to have an AWS account to view this data. For example, if there is a service issue for Amazon Simple Storage Service, also known as Amazon S3, in the US East Ohio region, AWS Health provides information about the event, even if you don't use that service or have an S3 bucket in that region. We post updates when there are issues broadly affecting our customers, such as service being unavailable in a specific availability zone or a region. During an event, we post updates on the investigation, progress towards recovery, and when the issue is considered resolved. You can also subscribe to the RSS feeds alternatively or to receive Service Health status updates, and the status history is available for the past year. Please note that these updates are not specific to any individual customer or AWS service and the region in which they operate. Second dashboard that is available from AWS Health is the AWS Personal Health Dashboard, or PHD. This dashboard provides information about AWS Health events that can affect your AWS services or accounts. This information is generally presented in two ways: a dashboard that shows recent and upcoming events organized by category, and a full event log that shows all the events. The AWS PHD organizes issues in three groups: open issues, schedule changes, and other notifications. Issues are unexpected events that affect AWS services or resources. Common events in this category include communications about operational issues that are causing service degradation or localized resource level issues for your awareness. Next is the schedule changes, and these are the events that provide information about upcoming changes to your services and resources, and some of these events might recommend that you take action to avoid service disruptions, while others may occur automatically without any action on your part. Your resource might be temporarily unavailable during the schedule change activity, and all events in this category are account-specific events. For example, an Amazon EC2 instance that requires a reboot. Next is the account notification, and these events provide information about the administration or security of your accounts and services. Now, these events might be informative, or they might require urgent action from you. So we recommend that you pay attention to these types of events and review all the recommended actions. For example, you will get a notification when you have an Amazon S3 bucket that is allowing public access. Are there any questions that I can take, Rob?
Hey, Rodila, thanks for all the information you provided so far. So, do you have a question for the Status Health dashboard events? Do these get published into CloudWatch events?
Usually, the service health dashboard blast radius is basically going to be across a region or an availability zone. And these are the events that directly get posted in the service health dashboard and not the CloudWatch alerts.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Next, you have the Health API, which is a RESTful web service that uses HTTPS as a transport protocol and JSON as the message format. Your application code can make requests directly to the AWS Health API. And when you use the REST API directly, you will have to write the necessary code to sign and authenticate your requests. A couple of points to note here. The AWS Health API follows a multi-region application architecture and has two regional endpoints in an active-passive configuration. To support the active-passive DNS failover, we provide a single global endpoint, and you can perform a DNS lookup on the global endpoint to determine the active endpoint and the corresponding signing AWS region. Now, this helps you to know which endpoint to use in your code so that you can get the latest information from AWS Health without any interruptions. Please note that you may have an enterprise support plan or business support plan, but for the Health API to work with your accounts, there is a prerequisite that you subscribe to the business or the enterprise support plan from AWS support. So all in all, you can view AWS Health as the robust communication channel where we communicate event-specific information to you, and all the AWS services, as they get launched, onboard to the AWS Health service as best efforts and use it to send communication via the PHD, Health API, and or CloudWatch events channel. AWS Health provides ongoing visibility into your resource performance and the availability of your AWS services and accounts. You can use AWS Health events to learn how the services and resources changes might affect your applications that are running on the cloud, on the AWS cloud. AWS Health provides relevant and timely information to help you manage events in progress. And AWS also strives to get the health basically make you aware of and to be prepared for planned activities. The service delivers alerts and notifications that are triggered by changes in the health of AWS resources so that you get near to instant event visibility and guidance to help accelerate troubleshooting. Now, for those of you who are running mission-critical applications, it is important to have access to proactive and real-time alerts. These alerts are key aspects to improve your overall incident remediation process and maintain operational excellence. With the current landscape of the dashboards that are available via the AWS Health, you have to be tuned into the AWS Console PhD to monitor these alerts or depend on these AWS account team members, such as technical account managers or solution architects, to stay informed, which is often prone to manual delays. Alternatively, you can configure Amazon CloudWatch events to create rules and receive notifications for events that might affect your AWS infrastructure. But you have to configure each of your accounts on how you wish to be alerted, which is a significant manual effort. It's hard to manage and also prone for misconfigurations. Now, we understand that speed is crucial for you when it comes to monitoring health events and maintaining the reliability and availability of your applications running on AWS, and reducing time to communicate the impact specific to the AWS resources, such as volumes, instances, or databases, is the key. And this very reason emphasizes the need for having dynamic notifications that are push-based when AWS events occur. Now, with the current landscape of the AWS Health offerings, this very need can be fulfilled via the AWS Health API, but it does require you to engage a development team, write code, which involves cost, time, efforts, and also AWS Health product knowledge. With that, these factors into consideration will often play in every organization. So we wanted to provide customers an out-of-the-box solution. And that's where we built AWS Health Aware, a turnkey solution that you can self-serve easily and deploy on your accounts. AWS Health Aware, also called as AHA, does the heavy lifting of reading the required health information specific to your AWS accounts ensuring that we provide simpler ways to view the events in context with your existing tools and processes. AHA cuts down on an average of 2-month development efforts to 3 minutes of deployments, enabling customers to integrate AWS Health into their incident management tools easily. And this very fact enables customers to appreciate the seamless communication that is coming from AWS. Now, let's take a look at the AHA event classifications to understand more about the scope and coverage. Now, for those of you who are using AWS organizations, AHA sends health event alerts centrally across the organization. Now, this is beneficial to centrally manage and govern your environments as you grow and scale your AWS resources. AHA aggregates the health events to identify accounts in your organization that are affected by an operational event or get notified for security vulnerabilities. You can then use this information to proactively manage and automate resource maintenance events across your organization. AHA also works for those of you who want to deploy on a single account that is not associated with AWS organizations. You will still be able to leverage AHA's push-based alerts, but get information specific to the impacts for a single account where AHA is deployed, and it would cover both public events and account-specific events that are supported. Now let's take a look at the event type categories that AHA supports. Now, event typically correlates to an issue in this context, and events can be public or account specific. Public events can be service events that are not specific to an AWS account. For example, if there is an issue with an AWS region, or AWS Health provides information about that event, even if you don't use services or resources in that region. Account-specific events are specific to either your AWS account or an account in your organization. For example, if there is an issue with Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud in a region that you use, we provide information about that event and the affected resources in that specific account. Every event type category has a different metadata depending upon the nature of the event. And typically, you will see AWS region, service, event description, and additional constructs such as resource IDs or the ONs for that issue. Now, similarly, AHA provides the impacted account IDs for the account notifications and schedule changes. Now, this is applicable for events that have impact across the affected entities or where the extent of impact is known at any given point. I'll take a pause here and see if there are any questions, Rob.
Hey, Madula, thanks. Yeah, we do have a question that came in just a little bit ago when you were going over the personal health dashboard and status health dashboard. And our question comes from Ray_DB222. On the PHD or personal health dashboard, do I see all the health events across all AWS organizations?
There is a feature called AWS Enable Organizations, Organizational View, and we will certainly get to that in the further slides. But if you enable that configuration, you will be able to get the aggregated alerts, but that is going to be a pull-based mechanism where you will have to be tuned into the console and checking periodically in the PHD dashboard.
Okay, thanks, Madula. And overall, as far as the events that you've covered so far, what are the supported operations in AWS Health that we can use here with these for log events and details?
Absolutely. There are capturing event API calls, basically describe events for organizations and without organizations. And there is also API calls to basically describe the event types. You could describe the affected entities as well as affected account IDs. And these APIs pretty much form the core components of AHA as well, where we programmatically establish a workflow execution to make sure that we are presenting the information in a human digestible format. I hope that answered.
Yep, back over to you. Thanks, Madula.
All right, thank you. Next, I'd like to quickly cover a customer use case. But before getting onto the customer use case, I'd like to highlight a core a practice that is important for every organization, which is the incident management. Now, establishing a successful incident response capability requires substantial planning and resources. having an efficient workflow with specific goals that are relevant to responding to incidents in a cloud environment ensures business continuity. And when you're running your workloads on cloud, it is essential for businesses to implement a well thought incident management process flow. Having a structured workflow ensures that incidents are dealt with effectively. It optimizes the time it takes to get to the resolution of issues, which is a common goal for any business. So, we recommend you to work with the key stakeholders and determine the goals for responding, containing, and mitigating the issues that may occur during event impacts. Now, let's review a sample customer use case as to how AHA was incorporated into their existing incident management workflows. The first step you see here is the incident identification. Now, we all know that incident reports can originate from various sources. Most of them come from phone calls, emails, or support chats. In this case, AHA is used as the automated mechanism that programmatically becomes the starting trigger point and alerts the problem management team to start engaging the on-call engineers for the impacted accounts. With the visibility that AHA provides, the customer's on-call teams are able to identify the specific affected resources, AWS accounts, to engage the right people at the right time. Next is the incident prioritization and investigating the impact step. In this phase, incidents can be prioritized according to the blast radius of the impact. Now, this can be determined by the kind of the cloud resources that are impacted, account types, and ultimately the associated business functionality itself. Financial impact is also a crucial factor to determine the priority. Those that do not interrupt the business and can be worked around are given a low priority. Now, in the diagnosis phase, customer evaluates the troubleshooting and potential redeployment or any other remediation mechanisms. Additionally, logs, alerts, and any other evidence that is available to enforce the mitigation should be considered during the evaluation. Next is the resolution and recovery. Once incidents are resolved, the service desk confirms that the customer's issue has been addressed. Details leading to the successful resolution and the incident closure are all discussed. And also, it is important to evaluate data from trends or patterns in the incident categories so that areas such as multi-region architectures or application-level improvements such as circuit breaking can be identified and incorporated to improve your disaster recovery strategies. With AHA's automated alerting to customers' preferred incident channels, the issue identification not only facilitates accurate root cause tracking, but also empowers customers to take appropriate measures that are put in place to optimize problem management. Coming to the AHA features, this provides customers out-of-the-box integration with the most popular incident communication channels, such as Slack, Microsoft Teams, Amazon Chime, and email. The AHA's EventBridge integration supports seamless communication to other incident tracking tools such as ServiceNow, PagerDuty, Datadog, etc. With AHA, you get the ability to filter on specific AWS regions and focus on the regions that you are running your workloads on. And additional noise filtering capabilities to opt out the account IDs are also available for customers who want to focus on accounts such as production versus non-production. AHA can also be deployed in a multi-region setup to ensure high availability. Now, we understand that customers have various preferences when it comes to deployment. Hence, customers can choose between Terraform or CloudFormation to deploy AHA. Now that we have looked at the AHA's features and use case, let's dive a little deeper on AHA's architecture and its core building blocks. And before I do that, Rob, are there any questions that I can answer?
Currently, no questions from the audience right now, but you mentioned that you have a few different options for deployment and configuration. Which configuration options should customers use during setting up the AWS Health Aware solution?
Absolutely. This is an important aspect to consider while evaluating the best communication channel that works for you. Please communicate with your organization's SRE team, incident management team, or problem management team to understand what are your best ways to be alerted. And depending upon that, you can choose the communication channel. And if that is something that is available right out of the box as an integration with AHA, that is something that you can configure directly on the CloudFormation template and Terraform template. And having said that, we do recognize that there are multiple options out there which probably AHA doesn't support as of today. But do note that AHA gives you the foundational building blocks that you can take from the open sourced GitHub channel, which I'm going to share the link shortly. And you can build on top of that, which is also something that a lot of customers are aware of and are doing as we speak.
Great, thanks, Mridula. I appreciate that. I also just posted the GitHub link into the chat for the audience as well, so I've got that shared for you.
Thank you very much.
Carry on. Thanks.
Now, AHA architecture is built based upon an event-driven architecture. Now, to enable continuous alerting, AHA leverages EventBridge to invoke the required AWS Health APIs at regular intervals of 60 seconds. Amazon EventBridge is a serverless event bus service that you can use to connect your applications with data from a variety of sources. The EventBridge rule then triggers the Lambda function, and Lambda is an on-demand compute service that runs custom code in response to events. Within Lambda, AHA source code is stored in a deployment package and contains an event handler to process the events. The customer's configured communication channel information is stored in the AWS Secrets Manager to protect the access to those channels, and is only retrieved based upon the secret channel ID that gets created during the deployment. Now, DynamoDB is used as the persistent store for AHA, and Amazon DynamoDB is a key value and document database that delivers single-digit millisecond performance at any scale. It's a fully managed, multi-region, multi-active, durable database. AHA parses the event data and stores the event-related metadata to perform event deduplication. Every time a new event comes in, it gets a new event ID, or the timestamps and the event metadata are stored while the alerts are pushed to the communication channel. As AHA receives updates on those existing events, the event metadata is compared with the existing information and sent to the communication channel only in the case of any updates. Coming to the supported regions, AHA is available in countries such as Africa, Europe, North America, and South America. And for the deployment options, AHA is currently available to deploy in two modes: single region and multi-region. Single region architecture enables users to deploy AHA on a given single region, which is the AWS region. And for the multi-region, the AHA CloudFormation template uses the AHA CloudFormation, uses the AWS CloudFormation stack sets to deploy the AHA constructs in both the AWS regions. Also, Terraform is available for you to deploy the multi-region option. We made multi-region available to centralize the AHA deployment in multiple regions to remain responsive and prevent any disruptions that may occur during AWS events. Now, coming to the pricing model, AHA solution is available for customers at no charge. However, you are responsible for the cost of the AWS services that are used while running the solution. As of September 2021, the total cost to run the solution depends on the number of communication channels running at any given time, and the amount of events being stored and presented, and the Lambda function execution as well. Average cost of running AHA is less than $5 per month. And the breakdown is as shown in the slide here. The cost for running AWS Secrets Manager is 40 cents per month per each secret. And it may be a total of $1.60 if you're leveraging all the 4 channels, Slack, Chime, Teams, and EventBridge at once. Similarly, the breakdown pricing for DynamoDB, Lambda, and S3 are as shown on the screen, assuming a mid to large size organization of about 250 AWS accounts. And I would recommend you to check out the AWS pricing page for additional information. Now, coming to the support model, the AWS Health Aware, or AHA, is available in GitHub AWS Samples repository. Thanks, Rob, for sharing the link. And for any additional questions or queries, you can engage AWS Premium support by selecting the options that are shown on the screen to get additional assistance with AHA. Now, before we get into the actual demo, Rob, are there any questions that I can take?
Hi, Radula. Yeah, thank you. We do have one question that came in from PlayWS. Will the AHA solution soon be integrated as part of the console or personal health dashboard so we don't have to deploy or maintain it?
We are actively working towards incorporating some of the most popular functionalities that are available via the AHA solution. We are constantly taking feedback from the customers who have already deployed AHA, and we are working towards making this even more seamless and also heavily integrated with the dashboards. And you should be hearing more about it in the coming next year, next to 2022.
All right, thanks. Radula, back over to you.
Now, let's quickly jump to the demo. Before we get started with the deployment of AHA, I'd like to quickly go over the resources that are available for AHA on the AWS website. I'll quickly jump to the demo.
As we get the demo kind of going there, Radula, for everyone, obviously it's a really low cost for the initial setup for $5 US, right, per month. So it's a great thing.
Absolutely. Right. Here we have the AHA blog post. We launched the AHA solution early this year in March 2021, sorry. You'll see the entire AHA scope, the single region, multi-region architecture, and also the constructs that get deployed, along with the fact that how the EventBridge extensibility works. We also have information on how to configure the popular communication channels along with detailed instructions, the Amazon Chime, Slack, Microsoft Teams, as well as configuring the email and the prerequisites that are required for you to set up the email option. Also note that we have a new features section, which is constantly updated. We make sure that we are adding the features and functionalities that we are pushing and updating in the new features section. Now let's take a quick look at how the AHA GitHub repository looks like. Here we have the AHA GitHub where you have the source code. It's based out of the Python. We have two source code files, which you will be compressing it into a zip file and uploading it in the S3 bucket. And all the prerequisites are detailed out there in the blog post. We also have the configuration of the endpoints along with the setup options. You will see three setup modes here. AHA without organizations, as we've described earlier, along with AHA with organizations where you can deploy directly on the management account, or AHA with organizations that you could deploy on a member account and still get the same blast radius. Also note that the two Python files that you see here, the handler and the message generator, are responsible for calling the AWS Health APIs and orchestrating the entire workflow of sending the communication to the requested channels. You will see the prerequisites here. Please make sure to follow the prerequisites and enable the organizations view. And the deployment instructions are also detailed in the GitHub. And we will quickly go into the CloudFormation stack with respect to how to deploy AHA here. Here I'll give the stack name, which is AHA, and then specify whether organizations is enabled or not. And in this case, I'm going to select yes, so that I can get alerts across my organizations. And coming to the health event type, you have two options as of today. All the event types that are available versus issues, and it just depends upon the blast radius and the noise that you would want to filter out if you don't like to have the account notifications of the schedule change. Next is the name of the S3 bucket, where you would be uploading the Python files. and the S3 key, which is the file name of the zip, and then the preferred communication channels. In this case, I'm going to be using a pre-configured Slack webhook URL. And you can leave the others as default if you do not wish to be communicated, but please note that you can use multiple communication channels at any given point of time. Here you have the event bus name. If you wish to send the alerts in the JSON format to an event bus for further processing or integrating with the SaaS vendors such as PagerDuty or ServiceNow or New Relic, you can use this option. And coming to the email setup, you can provide the from email address as well as the to email addresses. Multiple addresses are supported, and customize the subject of the email. Here you see an important parameter, the event search back. And this basically tells AHA to go back and look for the past events. It's especially important when you're deploying AHA for the first time and you would like to see how the alerts are flowing through. And in this case, I gave 72 as the option, which is defaulted in hours, which is 3 days. And the last configuration parameter is the regions. And if you wish to distill down on specific regions where you are running your workloads on, this is very useful. For the demo purposes, I'm using all regions. You click next and leave the options as default, and then click next. And then scroll down and click on the I acknowledge to deploy the resources and create the IAM permissions, and then click on the create stack. This typically takes about 2 to 4 minutes to deploy the AHA solution and generate all the required resources. And in the interest of time, I already have a stack that is created successfully, and you will see the status of the stack as create complete upon successful creation. And let's take a quick look at how the events and the resources look like. Now, as you see, all the logical IDs for the specific resources have been generated successfully. And for the visual purposes, I'm going to filter out the physical IDs to make it simpler. And you will see that the Lambda execution role is created, which gives the Lambda the required permissions, the IAM permissions to access the APIs as well as the other resources. And you will also notice that there is one secret channel ID that is created, which is for the Slack channel. At the same time, if you had multiple multiple communication channels, it would create the secret IDs accordingly. Let's take a quick look at how a sample alert looks like now that we have looked at the CloudFormation template. Now, here is a sample open issue, and notice that it is color-coded with red and annotated with new, indicating that this is an open issue that is coming in from AWS Health. The account IDs, the services, the start time, and the impacted resources, as well as the region, are indicated in the alert. And also the event ARN specifying the resource that is impacted is also alerted. And the constant updates keep flowing through so that it makes it easier for the teams to look at and understand where we are with the mitigation process. This is a sample alert for resolved notification. And as you can see, it is color-coded in green and annotated with the resolved status. And similar information, the region, resources, account IDs, start time, and the end time will be noted here, along with any updates that would be useful for your problem management teams to indicate the analysis. Now, are there any questions that I can take, Rob, before switching back to the deck?
Hey, Radila, no questions from the audience right now, but I did have a question of my own. I think maybe you mentioned it, but when you're setting up the AHA solution, you were showing Slack. Did you mention you could also have it delivered to multiple channels, so they could have it send a Slack message plus so they could email to a ticketing system or something like that?
Absolutely. And that is the neat part about the solution, where you can configure multiple channels in parallel mode so that you can indicate the specific teams, or the engineering teams, or the problem management team. If you have a centralized cloud business office, you can have those channels alerted accordingly.
Great, thanks, Radila. Appreciate that extra info. Back over to you.
Thank you. As indicated, please find the AHA blog post and the GitHub links for AHA on the QR code here. As a conclusion, today we have looked at the AHA, which is essentially a turnkey solution, and with zero development efforts and integration to the most popular communication channels, we hope that you will be able to leverage AHA and be informed on any AWS-specific events to have an effective incident response plan for your workloads. And hope this session was informative for all of you, and have a great rest of the day and stay safe. Over to you, Rob.
Thanks, we really appreciate you going over everything today on the AWS Health Aware solution. So we looked at how you can leverage it to automate notifications from AWS Health. If there are any questions that were not answered today, you can post your questions on forums.aws.amazon.com. And feel free to email us any feedback at awssupportsyou@amazon.com. We want to hear from you, and please let us know what you'd like to see on this show. Thanks for joining us at AWS Supports You, and happy cloud computing.
All right. Thank you.